Your book is also about a strategy for successful event engagement. The word engagement often gets thrown around in the industry, but not everyone has a real grasp as to what it means. So what does successful engagement or a successful event engagement look like?
Another good question. Since there's really no replacing face-to-face opportunities to meet with your prospects and current customers, events themselves are inherently engaging as a good marketing tactic. But you should keep in mind that engagement really starts before the actual event and should continue after the event concludes. There's just so much competition out there for attendees' attention, both before, after, and during your event. You really want to come up with some good strategies to cut through that noise and keep people engaged. And before you do that, you should also set benchmarks. We're a very data-driven company, but most marketers are data-driven. And being able to set some benchmarks for how you can measure engagement is also very important, be it measuring, via live polling or post-event surveys. You can measure your brand's net promoter score, things like social impressions, but you need to figure out how much you are engaging via these benchmarks. So you can often have multiple strategies deployed when it comes to attendee engagement. In the beginning, you might just want to drive attendance. So how do you generate excitement? This could include things like a really great social plan, compelling content on your website. You could consider using influencers depending on your target demographic. And then during the event, enhancing engagement can range from everything from your seating strategy to incorporating really great surprise and delight moments. Just basic things like super high quality speakers and entertainment can go a long way. And then of course there's things like community building activities, things that will promote social sharing. These are all mechanisms to continue that two-way interaction with your attendees. Another thing that's really popular is event apps. So these can be very successful when it comes to personalization and also measurement. You can have things like live polling tools, gamification. I actually talk about personalization a lot in my book as well. I devoted a whole chapter to that, and apps can be a really helpful medium for creating personalization too. And then after the event, think about how you're going to keep people engaged. Way back before I even joined Google, I planned an event for a health company at the San Francisco MoMA. That's the Museum of Modern Art. And during the reception before the seated dinner, I brought in a really well-known muralist, Brian Barnacle, and he helped engage the attendees to create this work of art together. We had this huge canvas and they all painted together with Brian and created this really cool piece of art. Okay, so then they went in, had dinner, didn't think anything of it. But what they didn't know was behind the scenes, we photographed that piece of art, we printed it into save the date cards, and then we put them in frames. And as the attendees were leaving the event for the evening, we handed those out. Wow. So it was just really, really cool way for people to not only take home this moment that they had partaken in together, but then it also served as a reminder of our event for the coming year. That's just one example.
Yeah, and one interesting thing that I got from this too is the fact that you're mentioning engagement begins often before the event, not necessarily at the event. So I think a lot of industry people are thinking of it as, what is attendee engagement? It's only at the event, but it can be much more than that, before, during, and after as well. But I'd like to talk more about, you mentioned personalization, but before we go there, I just want to talk a little bit more about your career. So you didn't just fall into your job